We need to come alongside our most vulnerable. Hoosiers expect nothing less.
Governor Pence calls them the state's most precious asset, our children.
And tonight he is authorizing the Department of Child Services to hire more family case managers to help the kids who are suffering from abuse and neglect. RTV6 State House reporter Katie Hines is live with details.
Todd and Erica, Governor Pence is allowing the hire of 113 new family case managers, and it comes at a time that child abuse and neglect is reaching unprecedented levels in Indiana. The state confirming that 26% more children entered into the DCS system this year as compared to last. Family case managers within the Department of Child Services are often referred to as the people on the front lines. They're responsible for investigating allegations of child abuse and neglect. But right now, at least one of those employees claims to be monitoring more than 40 children, far above state guidelines.
I believe by hiring these additional caseworkers, we can help ensure that personnel at DCS are able to provide children in difficult circumstances with the time and the attention that they deserve. Our administration will continue to put kids first.
While the number of children entering the DCS system is growing, so is turnover at the agency. The director confirms the rate of turnover is 20% among family case managers. But she says the agency is addressing that factor. One step is by hiring a recruiter.
We also have a critical response team, so when there are issues that happen in the workplace or there's a death of a coworker, which we recently had from cancer, we can deploy the critical response team.
DCS will immediately start to fill the 113 new positions. The hiring comes after the agency recently hired 100 caseworkers and many of the 17 supervisors approved by the General Assembly earlier this year. Democrats are encouraged by the progress but say more needs to be done.
We need to really get a full understanding of what's going on in both our agencies and in our communities across the state. Why are we having such a huge uptick, and why are we unable to address those in our agencies?
The cost of those 113 new positions is around $7.2 million, and the governor says that he has been consulting with the state's Office of Management and Budget to determine where that money will come from. Reporting live, Katie Hines, RTV6.
For the past 2 years, Call 6 Investigates has been telling you about the state failing its own caseload standards. The state is not following what's called 1217 guidelines. Case managers are not supposed to have more than 12 active cases and 17 children monitored. Back in 2013, Call 6 Investigates questioned why only 3 of 19 regions were in compliance. Today, DCS head Mary Beth Ventura says only 1 region is currently complying with the law. She says the state changed its formula and now only counts case managers who have cases.
We don't count the hotline workers. We don't count the specialty workers. I mean, they don't carry a caseload, so why would we put them in that count? So immediately when I changed the formula, you can blame me, we were immediately out of compliance because we were reporting it the way it should be reported, in my opinion. And so now in some areas we are caseworkers away.
Bonaventura says DCS has recently seen a 26% increase in cases, and without that increase, they would not be in compliance with 1217 caseload standards.
Joining us now are political insiders Lara Beck and Abdul Hakim Shabazz. The government now investing more money on caseworkers. Is it too little too late, or is this the right time that we need all this extra staff?
It's the right time. Indiana's seen a 26% increase in children in need of DCS's work, mainly because of the heroin epidemic that's been just sweeping so many parts of the state. So that 113 extra workers at a tune of about $7.2 million is what Indiana needs.
Well, I think it is very important that we're doing this, and I definitely applaud the governor. I think that Democrats have been calling for it for quite some time. Our kids desperately need it. What I found interesting always is the timing. It hasn't been a very good week for the governor when you think about the I-65 heading into Lafayette being virtually impassable. You've got an unprecedented teacher shortage, and you have a host of other issues that are going on right now, including the $1 million State House stores. So it was an interesting way to try and flip the narrative after a maybe not so good week.
And possibly also dipping into reserves to pay for some of those things. but we see the dipping into those reserves not only to pay for child services, but also for infrastructure.
And you see, that's a good thing about actually having a reserve in the first place. So when you do have these issues like the roads, like child protective services, you have the money that's there. If the governor had dipped into the reserves every time the Democrats would have asked for him to dip into the reserves, there would be no reserve.
That is one of the boy, you're spinning hard today. hard. Unfortunately, we have the surplus we have on the backs of our roads and on the backs of our children and on these agencies that do such work like this. So I know you're trying to make it sound good, but it's unfortunate we found ourselves in this
Had that been for good
situation.
fiscal management, we wouldn't have them at all.
Our insiders will have to agree to disagree. You can watch more of what they have to say Sundays on Indianapolis This Week. Now back to you.